Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2017 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today and welcome to any newcomers. Always a thank you to those of you who continue to watch and listen and follow and subscribe. Thank you very much for taking the time to write your comments and feedbacks, both in the comment section and the ones that some of you take the time to send me to send to my email. Your support and feedback is very welcome and very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And also thank you to those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings, both for the first time and my regular clients as well. And thank you for the feedback that you're so good at sending and how those readings continue to play out in your lives. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you haven't read with me before, you can click on the About or Description button on my YouTube channel's homepage. That'll give you a little more information and detail and has my email address. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do a variety of different types of readings, length of time, live or recorded. And since I do readings full time, 6 days a week, I'm usually able to get back with you pretty quickly. And turnaround time for a personal one on one reading is currently anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks, but almost always within 2 weeks we can set up a reading. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. So moving right into this, remember that these are general readings. If this is your primary sun sign, it may or may not resonate with you. There's a lot of you watching and they're general readings, so of course they're not going to mean the same thing to the same degree for everyone who's watching. So make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well. You may find that they resonate a little more predictably for you or just give you additional bits of insight and clarity into what's going on in your life. So try to watch all three if you can, sun, moon, and rising. And of course, if you want a reading that's tailored specifically for you, feel free to contact me for a personal reading. So moving right along, I couldn't figure out, I couldn't decide which order I wanted to put the signs in this time. So I just decided to reverse it and go backwards from what I posted for the March mid-month readings. So this reading is for Gemini. For April 2017, the air sign of Gemini, Gemini the twins. What does this beautiful beginning month of spring have in store for the air sign of Gemini? Well, at least spring here. In some parts of the world, it is not spring, it is a different season. But what's in store for Gemini for April 2017? And for those of you interested, I continue to use the Gilded Tarot by artist Ciro Marchetti, drawing the customary 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, time being somewhat relative, of course, with a 9th card from the bottom of the deck representing overall energy and advice. So we begin with the 10 of Swords, followed by the 10 of Cups, the Tower, followed by the 8 of Swords, Judgment, followed by Temperance, and the 8 of Cups, followed by the Sun. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and advice is the Chariot. Wow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards. So significant, profound energy and strong sense of divine timing and orchestration at play for the month of April for you, Gemini. So let's begin. It looks like some of you have been going through a bit of a struggle recently or ongoing right now. We begin with the 10 of Swords, followed by the 10 of Cups, 2 tens. Tens represent the end of a cycle, the coming full circle or culmination of something. Swords is air energy, your element. It's air energy and it's mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, not too emotionally driven. And it's all about words, ideas, communications, belief systems, and outlooks, how we think about things and how we communicate that. The 10 of Swords is a card often referred to as the stabbed in the back card. It's a card of betrayal or or being in a place where you feel like you've been betrayed. This could be by a specific person, by a situation itself, and occasionally this card has come up for people who have been going through such a challenging time. They feel that life itself has betrayed them, but it does represent and a sense of unexpectedness too, because when you're hit from behind, you don't see it coming, of course. So um, a sense of betrayal. Now, the Ten of Swords is paired with the Ten of Cups, another card of completion or something coming full circle, the culmination. The Ten of Cups is the happy home, happily ever after card. Cups is water energy, and Cups is a suit that manifests in and around our emotions, feelings, relationships, and love. Um, it's an emotional suit because it's about our emotional atmosphere. The Ten of Cups is the ultimate fulfillment of your happiness, a sense of contentment with a strong connection to home and family. So it would represent a happy home, harmony, peace, stability, continuity, and feeling like you're at a place in life where everything's just working the way it's supposed to be. Everything's headed in the right direction and all the puzzle pieces kind of fit. So you have these two cards here, these two tens. Uh, so it looks like some of you, and I think for some of you, this is something which has happened very recently, is ongoing right now, or even if it's happened a little longer ago, the energy is still quite fresh. And it's about feeling like something that you have been emotionally invested in and thought was quite stable and happy or secure, or has been quite stable and happy and secure. Something has come in and disrupted it and kind of turned your world around, and it really feels like a betrayal, like everything perhaps that you've been working for. Was for nothing, or that it was false in some sense. I have to tell you, I think for some of you, this is going to hold valid, whatever the betrayal was, feeling like it was a betrayal. But I think for some of you, it may not be what it looks like too, because I'm getting some cautionary advice about the situation may involve something you're feeling like you've been betrayed by a specific person somehow, or a situation or an agreement, and really hurt quite badly, or having a difficult time dealing with it. But it may not be a betrayal. I'm getting for some of you, it may just look like that, but you need to kind of dig a little deeper and investigate, because it may not be what it appears to be. So it feels as if, anyway, we're beginning the month with this sense of something's happened, something is happening that's disrupted the peace and harmony of your home. It could be within your home itself, a family situation. Something's happened which has hurt your family situation, the peace and harmony of your family. It could be a specific relationship. And for some of you, this could be actual property too. It could be maybe an agreement on a house that fell through, or bankruptcy, or somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do in some kind of property or real estate deal. I mean, there's a lot of you watching. This isn't going to be for all of you resonate specifically as a love romance reading. You can apply these same energies to different areas of your life too, but it does feel, whatever the specifics of it are, the betrayal and the chaos does feel very emotional, and it has affected you, a primary relationship, or for some of you, just the happiness and peace of your home itself, whether that's because of a personal betrayal, or the betrayal that comes from somebody not holding up their end of a deal, perhaps in a business dealing or something. But the fact was, you thought it was going to be a certain thing, and you had trust, and that trust is betrayed. But again, for some of you, it's about trying not to react right off the bat, because everything may not be as it appears to be. So moving forward, and again, for some of you, I think for a lot of you, this is something which has happened recently, and you're dealing with it right now. It's happening right now. For some of you, it may have been something that happened even earlier, but the energy, it still feels very raw and very fresh for you. So moving forward, and I'm sorry to see that for you too, because it looks like a challenging energy to deal with, although it looks like you do successfully in the end. And remember, your overall energy is the Chariot, which is success, which comes from your will. So next we have the Tower, followed by the Eight of Swords. Now, here's Gemini. I want to, excuse me, I want to caution you because it looks like there's a lot of energy being put into dwelling in this. The Eight of Swords is a card of feeling trapped and held hostage, but it's illusionary because you're not really trapped by whatever the situation is. And there's a lot of energy and attention and focus, mental and emotional, being put into the negatives of the situation. While it does look very challenging, I would caution you um, to try to acknowledge whatever good there still might be around the situation or the support of friends, because the more that energy that you put into this, especially without trying to find out everything you can about it, the worse it's going to feel. And I don't want that. I of course don't want that for you. So that's why we do these readings. Forewarned is forearmed. You can lessen this energy and sometimes even reverse it. Just by not being too spontaneous and impulsive in acting on it. So the tarot card represents often an event, something which comes in and it's a real game changer. You have no control over it. It comes out of the blue unexpectedly. And for a lot of you, it's we're still talking about the same situation here where you feel like whatever this event was that has shaken something you thought was solid, stable, and secure. This man thought this home made out of bricks, this tower was his home, that it was, rock solid, but this bolt of lightning has come out of the blue, and kind of wrecked it. And he's falling out of the tower, and he's completely naked too, which does imply a sense of him not, it being very unexpected and being very vulnerable. It really feels like whatever this is that happened, it really kind of shook your faith and trust in something. And that something could be a person, one person, like in a specific relationship. That could be a love romantic relationship or even a business relationship. But you thought whatever the source was could be trusted, could be relied upon, rested upon, was stable, and whatever has come in has really shaken that up and left you feeling, like you were perhaps betrayed or taken advantage of or exploited in some way or made a fool out of as well. And we have the Eight of Swords too. Here we have more air energy. The Eight of Swords is a card that speaks of feeling, well, as this woman appears to be, trapped, held hostage, powerless. Things are going on and you have no control. Kind of a victim, helpless, vulnerable energy. But it is somewhat illusionary. The only thing actually keeping this woman trapped is the idea that she has that she's trapped. It's her perception of the situation, not actually looking at it for what it is. You can see she's on her knees, which implies this sense of vulnerability and helplessness. She's actually got a chain wrapped around her wrists, blindfold on, surrounded by a ring of swords. But if you really pay attention, nobody's holding her down there on her knees. And these chains aren't attached to anything or anyone. She could easily remove those herself, take this blindfold off, see that she can free herself from her situation just by making the decision to, just by deciding, by choosing it, and walk right through these swords because she's not really held hostage. So again, whatever this situation is, Gemini, that's kind of come in and left you feeling this way in this difficult position. The temptation for you, so be vigilant against this. The temptation for you is for it to make you feel like there isn't anything you can do. You're trapped. You don't have any control over it. You can't make any decisions to change it or remove yourself from it, but you can. That is in your head. So make sure if that comes up that you're really vigilant about that because you can do whatever it is you want to do. The Chariot card is your overall energy. This is success and pushing forward through struggle just by sheer will, by just deciding you're going to and pushing through it. That's your overall energy. So remember that and hold on to that this month so that you can empower yourself through this and become more empowered afterwards. So next to that, we have the energy looks to shift here in a better and more positive direction, Gemini. So don't be depressed. It's going to be okay. We do these so that we can get a glimpse of what's coming ahead. So it doesn't have to turn out exactly like this. And you don't have to experience this level of it either. So next we have a very powerful combination of two major arcana cards. We have Judgment and Temperance. So the judgment card, call to action here. This is a card that says, take a look at everything. Make sure that you have an understanding of the situation before you act. Don't react spontaneously and impulsively here, even if your emotions are very high, especially if your emotions are high, because judgment is about looking at something, seeing everything that you can about it, being realistic and grounded about it, and before you make any major decisions or actions, because there's an air of finality about the judgment card, which means that whatever you choose to do, however you choose to act or conduct yourself through this situation, whatever you set into motion is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to reverse or come back from. Before you do anything significant, make sure that you've looked at everything, that you've considered everything, that you feel like you have an understanding of what really actually happened, setting your emotions aside temporarily before you act. There's a sense of exercising caution here as well. So judgment is paired with temperance. Similar here. This is about balance, emotional balance, being grounded, being kind of in the center, uh, uh, particularly in an emotional way. It's also a card that represents peace and serenity, but being centered and grounded. My favorite analogy for the temperance card is it's about being in the middle of your emotional seesaw or teeter-totter, mental and emotional seesaw or teeter-totter. When you're on the outside end, you're at the mercy of external elements, the wind, somebody coming along and jiggling you up and down, where you'd fall off, lose your balance and fall off. But if you're in the center, you may go up and down, but it's much more stable. You tend not to lose your balance because you're in the center, you're balanced, grounded. And it's also about being at peace with what's going on, harmony, balance, holding opposite extremes in unison and harmony, particularly where emotions are concerned. Because I think the temptation for you here, Gemini, is going to be, or has been, uh, because emotions are so high, and so challenging, that it's about being reactive instead of taking control of your emotions and feelings, and not allowing them to control you. And also for some of you, I think perhaps a smaller portion of you, but I am getting that whatever this situation is initially, it may not have been a betrayal of some kind. It may just look like that in the beginning, or maybe somebody presented it that way. It may look really bad, but for some of you, it's actually not going to be that. So this cautionary advice I'm getting is to try to set your emotions aside for a while and actually look at it and make sure that what you think happened is really what happened, particularly if it's about somebody betraying you. um, they may not have. So just make sure to not be reactive. Now, at or towards the end of April 2017, we have the Eight of Cups, followed by the Sun. I love the Sun. It's a great card, probably one of the best cards in the deck. It lessens negative energy of surrounding cards and increases positive energy of surrounding cards as well. The Eight of Cups is a card of leaving, of walking away, of leaving behind you that which was ultimately disillusioning, dissatisfying, disappointing, has turned out differently than you thought and wanted it to be, which is what the Eight Cups on the ground behind this man represent. Some of them upright, some of them tipped over. The implication being that he's tasted and drunk from most, if not all, of these cups. And in the beginning, he may have thought it was what he wanted, or, they were presented to be a certain thing, but at the end, they're not what he wanted. There's no joy or fulfillment here. Disappointed, disillusioned perhaps. And he's made up his mind to turn around and walk away, to leave this behind him. He may not be entirely sure of exactly which direction he's going in, but he has decisively and assertively made up his mind to leave whatever this situation is, whatever these cups represent to you, behind. A situation, a relationship, um, a job or career path, even for some of you. You can see he's dressed for travel. He's got his hat on, his cloak on, his walking staff in his hand. He's surveying the horizon. He's ready to go. So for some of you, you're going to make the decision to whatever this has that happening. You're letting it go. You're walking away from it. You're cutting yourself free. For some of you, this is advice from Spirit suggesting, that you separate yourself from this, leave it behind you. Some of you, I feel like for a small portion of you, especially paired with the Sun card, which can represent vacation, taking a break, loosening up of energies, for some of you, I feel like getting away for a little while and kind of letting it just turn in the back of your mind is going to be helpful, because I feel like for some of you, if you do that, the answer will come to you, or the clarity that you need will come to you. Some of you will be making a decision to leave or need to make a decision to leave this behind. And I feel like it's kind of about asking for guidance, asking for help and clarity. Is the situation really what it looks like it is? Doing everything you can to make sure it is before, again, you walk away from something that maybe you don't need to walk away from. Um, Trying to stay balanced with that, trying not to let your emotions drive any decisions. Some of you, I feel like you need to take some time away, separate yourself physically from the situation or person for a time, just to kind of clear your head, so that you can, when you need to, when you make the decision, it's really what you want. Because regardless of what the specifics are for all you Geminis watching, the advice fundamentally remains the same. Take some time out if you need to, take some time away if you need to. But whatever decision you make, whether it's to stay, whether it's to leave, whether it's something in between, um, don't rush into it. Make sure you have all the facts, and that you weigh out all of your options, so that when you make the decision, it really is what you want, or it really is what you think is going to be best for you. Now, your overall energy is the Chariot. Great card. It's a card of success through struggle and determination, success through conflict, by your will. It's also it's also about utilizing different aspects of the situation to work to your advantage as well, bringing things together and making them work in unison and harmony. It's success that comes from sheer will and determination. Like, it's like winning just by refusing not to give up, having a clear plan of action, and being assertive, decisive, and going for it. This woman actually doesn't even have reins controlling these sphinxes. She controls and motivates this chariot through her will, her want, her will with a capital W, determination, perseverance, knowing exactly what you want. And again, this is also about emotional balance, being careful with your emotions, not to let them make major decisions for you. That seems to be very important over the month of April, which is what you have to do here in order to think decisively, clear-headedly, and let will, and determination be the thing that drives you, not your emotions, not your feelings. It's about having all the facts, knowing everything, making the right decision, and then acting on it. So that's overall energy for the month of April. It looks like an interesting month, and a month I think you're going to get a lot of growth and insight from, not only from the situation or the relationship, but about yourself as well. Uh, Watch the emotions and feelings. Don't be reactive. And for some of you, this may not be what it looks like initially. So make sure that you have all the facts, and you take some time out, uh, to clarify what it is that happened, what you think is the best thing to do, and weigh everything out before you make any major life decisions based on this. Particularly for those of you for whom the situation is not business related, but it's more personal, especially if it's in your primary relationship, because you don't want to end up leaving a relationship behind, or breaking a relationship, or walking away from someone, without knowing the whole truth of the situation and taking time to consider very carefully. So, Gemini, that pretty much wraps up your April 2017 general reading. I hope that you find it helpful and useful, and I think you're gonna do just fine on this. Actually, I think that lovely air energy that you have of being kind of uh, more thoughtful, before, instead of spontaneous and impulsive. I think that character trait, is going to serve you well, this month, in kind of keeping you on the center path here. So, thank you very much for watching. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading specifically tailored for you and your situation, feel free to email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most delighted to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the April 2017 mid-month readings. And until then, Gemini, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.